members of the Pride, and welcome to another vlog. I am tired. It's been a hard couple of weeks. Between military work and between the my computer just acting the fool, and Steam not working and denying me access to my games, it's been a stressful and difficult couple of weeks. So, irregardless, why am I talking to you today? First of all, Steam is still not fixed. After 2 straight weeks between my work and the expert that I hired, even the expert can't figure this out. He's like, I have no idea why your Steam is acting the way it is. It doesn't make any sense. He's like, there's no errors, there's no anything, nothing's come up. It's simply not working. Something's bizarre. And he's telling me that, we can, there is a fix for it, but the fix would be to literally just wipe my hard drive and everything in it. And we can't even use a backup because the backup would most likely give us the same problem that we had before. So I can't even back it up. We can't even clone it or anything like that. Since we literally have no idea what's causing the conflict, he said, for all I know, it's something lodged in one of the save files. It's a small chance, but since we literally have no idea what's causing this, we would have to wipe the whole thing and start from scratch. And that would mean losing all the progress I've done on Animalica, and while that's doable, I mean, it would mean having to start Animalica over from scratch and basically have to do a Season 2. Not looking forward to that, but it's an option. But that's not all it would do. It would also remove all of the save files I have on every one of my games. That means all of the games that I have played on previous series that I did that I've been kind of holding on to in order to later do a Season 2, which means all the progress in Satisfactory, gone. All the progress in Re-Legend and Pumpkin Days and all the Alchemy Garden, all of that, every game I've ever played, gone. It just gone. Now I backed up all of my previous videos. I do that on a regular basis. So I mean, in terms of like my archive of all of my videos, those are intact, but basically everything, all the progress that I've done, he's like, since we literally just have no idea what to do, we would have to clean sweep the whole darn thing, and everything would have to go. You'd have to reinstall everything from scratch, and everything you have saved is just gone. There's just we can't save it because we don't know. And it's like, well, okay. We're kind of saving that as a last resort, but it's an option. And in the meantime, I've got my computer back for the time being because, as you all saw, there was like, what, 3 or 4 days where I had no content, which is incredibly unusual for me. That is not typical for me at all. I've always prided myself in making sure that I have at least 1 video a day. And with very few exceptions, most of which were at the very beginning of my channel, before I gained access to the scheduling of the videos, which I had YouTube had only allowed me to do that once I was able to monetize, and also, there was like a couple of times when I got deployed for the major fires that happened out in Napa, and I was gone for a long time. I wasn't able to upload anything then. But basically, just usually military-related stuff was literally the only reason that kept me from being able to post at least 1 video a day. I made myself that promise, and I've kept myself that promise, and I've kept that promise to you guys as well. But in this case, I mean, there was literally nothing I could do about it. All of my Steam games were gone, and almost all of my games were on Steam. Um, and I had planned on doing Minecraft, which you guys have seen. I've started a Minecraft series, Minecraft Skyblock, and I'm doing that with Little Mama Bear. And I'm also planning to do like a another game as well, running parallel to that. And I want to talk to you guys about that in a minute. But uh, basically, what has happened to this point is after 2 weeks of just banging my head against the wall, and my computer guy banging his head against the wall. And bear in mind, this is not some like young computer guy who's in his early 20s and is just learning his craft. I'm talking about a guy who was literally fixing computers and computer programs and computer issues back when PCs were just entering homes. I mean, this guy has been in the business for over 40 years of computers. The guy knows his business. That's the reason why I had him build my original computer, and why I trust all of my computer issues to him. Every time I've ever had an issue in the past, I take it to him. He's got it knocked out in 24 hours, and it's done. The guy is amazing. He's stumped with this. That's how bad this is. And with Steam throwing up their hands and saying, we don't want to help you, literally, they said, we don't want to help you, get an expert. Great, Steam, thanks for the help. I mean, it's been extremely stressful. Plus, of course, the fact that I got activated by the military for a little while, and just some of the other stuff that's been happening. Plus, of course, the whole coronavirus thing, which is preventing me from working. That's creating some interesting monetary issues. It's just all of it all happening at once has created a great deal of stress for me. I've soldiered on. I eat stress for breakfast and spit out product. So hey, it's nothing I can't handle. But that's the reason why I am tired and why I probably look like hell right now. Because I am tired. I have not gotten much sleep over the past several days. Well, actually, I really haven't slept well in the last couple of weeks ever since this thing just started giving me issues. So the choice that I am forced with right now is Little Mama Bear and I are going to do that Minecraft Skyblock thing for a little while. We're having a little trouble trying to get our times to match up, but that's always been an issue with us. It's just with she doesn't have the availability that she has doesn't really match up with the availability I have. So a lot of times we have a lot of difficulty trying to meet up our schedules in order to record together. But we're making that work somehow, and we're kind of squeezing in what recording we can to be able to get some episodes on the channel. Because she's been worried as well. She's been seeing my channel starting to falter, and she's like, Lion, we got to do something. We need to help you out. And I'm like, I agree. Help me out. So, and that kind of, so that, but again, our schedules don't meet up well, so we can only do so much content, and so it's really not going to be enough for me to be able to do everything, to be able to get one per day. So that brings me back to I need a second game. Well, what second game? That's kind of presented some issues as well. Obviously, I can't do anything on Steam. Steam's just not accessible. There is Good Old Games, and there's Epic Games, and there's a few other game launchers out there. I have been looking through a lot of them. Epic Games has been kind of cool lately in that they've been giving away some big name titles. Like this morning, as of this recording, they just gave away Civilization 6, which was great, except that civilization games, for some reason on my computer, always have a lot of trouble. I deal with a lot of crashes and exception issues and things like that. I'm always having difficulty trying to make Civilization work, and which is the reason why my Civilization 5 series kind of faltered and petered out, because I was having so many issues with Civilization. For some reason, that series, something with their program just disagrees with something in my computer. It just doesn't like it. And while I enjoy Civilization a lot, it's too unreliable. I'm having to constantly save my, run a turn, save the game, run a turn, have it crash, load up the save, play the game, save the game, crash, and it's a constant hassle. It's a constant nightmare. And it's, generally speaking, just more trouble than it's worth. But having said that, if you guys are just really interested in seeing me play Civ 6, let me know in the comments. I'm flexible. We can try to make something work. It probably won't be, again, it won't be like a big series. I'll do it as much as I can, for as long as I can. But I don't hold a lot of hope. The Civilization games are just, for whatever reason, because I play them on I played Civ 5 for a long time just on my own, and it's just it's a really problematic game, for whatever reason. So, and Civ 6 is proving to do the same thing, so I don't know. Civ 6 is an option, but not a real good option. The other game that I got for free on Epic Games was Grand Theft Auto 5. Now, I have said from the beginning, I'm never going to play Grand Theft Auto on this channel. I don't think it is a moral game whatsoever. The single player story is extremely rough. It's a great story. Don't get me wrong. The gameplay is awesome. The game itself is awesome. It's a lot of fun to play, and I've played most of the Grand Theft Auto games since Grand Theft Auto 1. Although I didn't really enjoy Grand Theft Auto 1 or 2 very much. But from 3 on, I've played like every single one of them. I haven't played Grand Theft Auto 5, but I played all the rest of them and all the spin-offs, and I've always really loved the Grand Theft Auto games. But let's face facts here. This is a family channel, and that's just not family friendly. On that note, however, the Grand Theft Auto 5 does have an option to do multiplayer. And Lil Mama Bear and I have been talking about the possibility of maybe doing Grand Theft Auto 5 multiplayer and simply not doing the really nasty stuff. Most of the really bad stuff is in the single player, where you're dealing with sex and drugs and high-powered crime and doing some other really nasty, like, holy cow, bad kind of stuff. But the multiplayer kind of stuff, some of it's bad, but most of it isn't. Most of it is, like, playing lawn darts with cars and doing, side quests and heists and things like that. And while, okay, it's, that's obviously bad guy stuff, it's not awful, which is what I have specifically been steering away from on this channel. It's not awful. Almost every game out there's got, like, some sort of combat and some sort of, it's a part of gaming. You're going to have some things that are not strictly, unless you're just going into, strictly for kids and educational games and things like that. But, I've said from the beginning, I might be family friendly, but I'm not kid friendly. And my difference in that is, what I've always said is, if you're going to have your kids watch video games, parents should be watching with them, or at least be very, very aware of what they're watching. And because I do know that kids do watch my channel, that's why I try to play games that are lighter weight. Doesn't have like the Mortal Kombat gore or the Grand Theft Auto cussing and drugs and other stuff. Um, you know, but on the other end of that, on the other end of that scale, usually those games are typically pretty good. I mean, in fact, most of them I would even go so far as to say they're really good. Um, Games like Far Cry and games like Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead Redemption and gosh, what are the other like M-rated games that are really good? Watch Dogs, games like that, phenomenal games, but generally tend to get into some pretty heavy duty stuff that I'm not comfortable with unless I can present it in a way that I believe is at least morally ethical to the best of your ability. And there are some games where that's just it just doesn't give you that option. You're a bad guy and that's it. But I've always believed that even people who have been thrust into the evil side of life can still approach this with a good intention. And that's always been my approach when it comes to M-rated games, especially things that have a lot of combat and a lot of like yikes level of adult type stuff. And that was actually one of the reasons why I played Fallout 4. Not just because Fallout 4 has a phenomenal gameplay and has a lot of really good stories to it, but also because even though you're doing a whole lot of really rough things in order to survive and be able to cope with a post-apocalyptic world, it gives you the option to be a moral person within that chaos and destructiveness and evil. And that's what I wanted to do. As a matter of fact, for a long time, I thought about doing Red Dead Redemption 2. Because Red Dead Redemption 2, yeah, you're a bad guy. Let's face it, you are a bad guy, and you do bad things. But you have the option to be honorable. You have the option to, try to be as much of a good guy as you can, which is actually the whole reason why it's called Red Dead Redemption. You are a bad guy trying to redeem your evil past. And I like that, which is one of the reasons why for a long, I really agonized over whether or not I was going to play Red Dead Redemption 2. I even actually went so far as to buy the game. Unfortunately, apparently the game has an error on it that causes your game to crash a lot. And it's a well-known one. I went online and I looked it up, and apparently tons and tons of people have this error. I got this error. It causes your game to crash randomly and without warning. It comes, at least in this case, it comes up with an error. You put in the error. People have all these fixes and stuff. But even with the so-called fixes, most of those fixes don't work. And there's still a ton of people out there who Red Dead Redemption just simply won't work for them more than maybe 15, 20 minutes at a time. And it's absurd. Which is one of the reasons why you see most of the gameplay out there for Red Dead Redemption 2. That's why you usually won't see it in one long playthrough. You'll usually see it in snippets. You'll usually see it like, he's doing all this stuff and he's doing it and he comes to the end. And then the next thing you know is, whoop, he's over to this other thing that he's doing differently. And, oh, now we're over here and he's doing this thing. That's why. It's not because, I'm sure part of it's probably like stylistic editing choices, but it's also because the game crashes because it's got an existing error. Rockstar Games is very aware of the error. They've known about it for 6 months now, and they have not fixed it. So, generally speaking, that's not how I like to play my games either. I want my games to be intact. So, will I ever play Red Dead Redemption 2 on this channel? Possibly. I I think it's an excellent game. It's won an enormous number of awards, and it has the possibility to be a good guy even though you are a bad guy. And I like that. So yeah, will I be doing that someday? Probably, if I can ever get the darn thing to work. Right now, eh, right now it's really hard to make it work, and so it's really not an option to be able to do. So which kind of brings us back to my original problem. I need a second game. Because Minecraft Skyblock simply isn't going to be able to produce enough videos for me to do every day, and I need another game. Now, Night Scream 452, she is an avid supporter of the channel. Terrific lady. If you ever get a chance, say hi. She ever comments, just say, "Hey, Night Scream, Lion told me to say hi." She's probably going to kill me for telling you that. But maybe she won't. Maybe she's a really friendly person, and maybe she'll be like, "Oh, cool." I don't know. But be nice. Night Scream she's a nice lady. Be nice. So, but anyway, Night Scream had suggested I play Ark. And I have seen Ark in the past. I've seen gameplay of it. I think the game is pretty good. I don't know if it's entirely up my alley, but it does seem like a pretty interesting game. I mean, it's survival with dinosaurs, so I mean, how can you go wrong with that? And she also offered the use of her server as well. And so I'm kind of going, well, maybe I want to go down that path. Maybe since we can't do Animalica for the foreseeable future, maybe our next big thing will be Ark. I don't know. And if that's the case, actually, Ark is going to be given away for free by Epic Games on June 6th. And if that's the case, I'm definitely grabbing it. And I'll give it a try, and I will see what it's like, and we'll play it a bit. And if I think it's good for the channel, I may go ahead and join Night Scream's server and go ahead and do a series on Ark. Even though that's a game that's been kind of out for a long time, and obviously everybody and their mother, has a YouTuber who has, who's done Ark. So I will be one of the masses. But that's all right. I mean, maybe we'll give it a try. Hey, it's like I said, survival game with dinosaurs. How do you go wrong with that? So I might give that a try, but that's June 6th, and we're still back to my original problem. What am I going to play in the meantime? And I wish I had a good answer for you. I'm still doing research on the various games out there. And while money is a factor, it's not so tight that I can't go out there and get a game to be able to play. And like I said, I'm doing my research right now. I'm trying to find a game that I kind of go, oh, okay, I could play this. This is family friendly. This is appropriate for the channel. But I guess the main concern that I have right now is I guess I'm wondering if you guys are. I mean, because most of my, okay, I'm stumbling all over what I'm trying to say here because it's very difficult to talk about this. My audience in general does not like M-rated games. Every M-rated game I've ever put up on this channel bombs. In fact, every game I've ever put on this channel that wasn't survival crafting has bombed. And I love survival crafting games. Don't get me wrong; they're phenomenal. I have a lot of fun with them, and I think they're a great. They're a great genre. I play them all the time. But Well, and I say survival crafting. I guess I should say survival and crafting, since My Time at Portia wasn't exactly survival crafting. But it is a crafting game. But game, I guess that would be a crafting RPG. So maybe I should say survival crafting RPG. Um, that genre tends to be what really works on my channel. People like to watch it. But nobody really seems to be all that interested in M-rated games, except for like maybe a few. There's a few who like them and they enjoy them, but it's always been kind of a sticking point that a large number of the games that I personally would love to play really just don't work on this channel because number one, they're M-rated and nobody wants to watch, and number two, they're rougher than I really would like. And even if I could make it work, it would be of a type that maybe me personally I enjoy, but maybe YouTube is going to have an issue because of this whole adpocalypse and the COPPA issue and this new self-regulatory, the self-incriminating requirement that they have for us to be able to basically dime ourselves out if it's an inappropriate game we're playing. I mean, all of it together just adds up to, yikes, this is such a difficult medium to play in anymore. YouTube, I mean, but it's really not YouTube's issue. The issue is mine. And the issue is I'm finding myself in a quandary of who am I playing for? Am I playing for myself, or am I playing for an audience, or am I playing for YouTube views? And after a lot of soul searching, the answer is yes to all three. Because I've said from the beginning, I want to make this my career. So I always have to be mindful of the popularity of any given series, because if I just play whatever I want but nobody's watching, that defeats the purpose of making this a career. But if I'm playing games that I'm not enjoying, then you guys are going to be like, well, he's bored out of his mind, and leave then too. Which is the reason why I stopped playing My Time at Portia, even though by far My Time at Portia has been my biggest series. By far, I had to stop playing after 2 seasons because I simply ran out of stuff to do, and I'm going, I could go a third time, but for Pete's sake, how many times am I going to do the same thing over and over? And that's kind of the trap that a lot of YouTubers are finding themselves getting trapped into. There are a large number of Minecraft YouTubers that would kill to get out of Minecraft. They're so sick and tired of Minecraft that they're ready to throw a brick at their computer so they never have to see it again. But that's their money, that's their career, that's where they're stuck. And the same thing for Roblox, and the same thing for, well, just pick your game. There's guys out there who have made Skyrim their bread and butter, who have made Red Dead Redemption their bread and butter, who have made Fallout their bread and butter. They made their money on game, either a particular series of games or a type and genre of games, and they're now stuck in that because that's where their money is. And I'm trying to avoid that, and frankly, I'm beginning to discover it's impossible. You can't avoid it. You get known for a certain type of game that you play as a YouTuber. And sometimes it's one particular title, and other times it's just a particular genre. And to give you a good example, Jacksepticeye. Jacksepticeye is known for his indie games. He plays indie games. That's his shtick. But every time he goes outside of an indie game and he plays something different, yeah, it might do okay, but more often than not, his ratings take a dive. And he's big enough that he doesn't care. But he's a good example of a guy who's been kind of stuck in a particular genre. if he were to decide I'm not going to do indie games anymore and I'm going to do nothing but big name titles, his popularity would take a huge crash. Simply because a lot of the reason why people come to see him is because he plays indie games and they like indie games. Now that, like I said, that's kind of a bad example because he's so popular and he's such a powerful and fun personality that I'm sure he could stand in front of a camera and pick his nose, and 20 million people will watch him every day do that. But but you kind of get the idea. That's the trap that YouTubers have a tendency to get stuck in. And it's the very, very rare individual YouTuber that is able to just play whatever they want and their ratings get unaffected. This even affects PewDiePie. I mean, this affects Markiplier. This affects all of the big names out there, and a lot of the medium names that are out there. There's people like Wanderbots, who Wanderbots is known for his roguelite roguelikes, roguelite and roguelikes. And if he steps outside of that genre, his ratings take a bit of a hit. At least he's kind of lucky in that he's a variety player. And so if he steps out that genre and tries something different, his fans are more willing to forgive him. But if he steps too far out of that thing, his ratings start taking a hit. And I could name off 100 YouTubers who all have the same issue. So with where I am right now, obviously my shtick is where people like me is survival crafting and RPG. And I love those games. Those are great, but it also really, really shoehorns me. Because what happens when I no longer have access to those games anymore? Which is where I find myself right now. All of a sudden, all of my Steam games are gone. And access to the vast majority of the type of game I play is gone. Because Epic Games doesn't have a whole lot in the way of those kind of things. Good Old Games doesn't have a whole lot in the way. They have them, but I mean, like, Good Old Games is like the ones they have are like decades old and nobody watches anymore. Or with Epic Games, like, the only ones that they even care about are the names that are like the big names. They don't deal with any of the smaller names like Animalica, which is exactly the kind of game that I love to play. They have My Time at Portia, and I don't think I haven't thought about doing season 3, because I could always buy My Time at Portia on Epic Games and do, I think it's on Good Old Games too, but I could buy it elsewhere, just buy another copy of it, and do a season 3. Don't think that hasn't crossed my mind. And that's not off the plate. If I were to get enough interest on this channel, where everybody, all the fans are just saying, yes, we want season 3 of My Time at Portia. Give it to us right now, Lion. I'd turn around and do it right now. I do love the game. I just kind of had to get away from it for a while. But most of the time, and my fans are terrific. I love you guys. You guys have always been really behind me in anything that I do. Most of you just kind of say, hey, whatever you watch, I'll watch. Whatever you play, I'll watch, Lion. And I love you guys for that. I really do. But you're kind of the vocal minority, unfortunately, because what I notice is, like, especially back when I was playing My Time at Portia, I would have 100 views and a huge amount of watch time on one particular episode, and maybe 3 people would comment, 4 people would comment. Just because most people just don't talk. They don't leave comments. They just watch and they're gone. And, I'm that kind of guy too. Unless I have something to say, I don't comment. And so those are the non-vocal majority, and that's with any series I do, and that's actually how I know when a series is doing well. because I compare the amount of views and the amount of watch time versus like how many comments I actually get. And comments are huge. Please keep commenting. Keep doing the thumbs up. Believe me, those help the channel so much. But if I've got, 10 thumbs up and 10 comments and 10 views, as opposed to, and like, the watch time is comparable on those 10 views. And then over here, I've got 100 views. Watch time is comparable, but 2 or 3 comments or 10 comments or whatever. I got to go with this one over here, because the more watch time is over here, the more views are over here. Maybe I'm getting an equal number of comments. Maybe I'm getting an equal number of likes and all that. But this is the one that's promoting my channel. This is the one that's making my channel grow. And it's a constant struggle. It's a constant struggle to try to find that balance between making sure that your fans really, are enjoying what you watch, and playing the games that I want to play. And I don't even know where I'm going with this, because I keep getting off of my original point, because my original point is, what am I going to play? And the question, and the answer to that is, I have no idea. I have a lot of research to do. Mama Bear and I are going to be recording as much as we can, but I have to pick something soon, because my channel is in a real upheaval right now, and I need to get content out there. And I'm struggling, is what I am. I'm struggling. And I guess that's the reason why I posted this today. Just to kind of get it off my chest, to kind of show you guys the real behind the scenes struggle that's going on right now with this channel. The struggle between what I want to play and what I can realistically play on this channel. The amount of time I have to be able to kind of play the games that I would like to play, there's not a lot. And so what happens is that I end up playing the games that people want to see on this channel. And that's great, because I like those games too. But it doesn't leave much time for like just goofing around and having fun with a different game that people would otherwise never watch. And I don't know. It's I guess. And like I said, I don't really have an answer to this. I'm not doing a call to arms, or I'm not asking you guys, what do you think? Because I know you guys are usually very open-minded, and you guys are really cool about saying, hey man, this is what I'd like to see, but whatever you put up, man, I'm here. And I just want to tell you how much I really appreciate that, because it's really my hardcore fans, and it's that hardcore knot of people that kind of form the basis of my overall fan base. And you guys, you're my pride. You are the true members of the pride. And I really do appreciate you guys. I really do. And it makes, and that's why a lot of times I'll go longer on a series that's bombing, just because I know that the people who are watching are the ones who really are. You guys are the knot. You guys are that pride. Those are the pride members. Those are the ones that you guys, you're hardcore and you're ready to watch whatever. And man, that's awesome. I love that you guys are out there doing that. And I guess that's the reason why I wanted to explain why sometimes series just have to go to the wayside, even though everyone's enjoying it. If I don't get enough interest in it, I have to set it aside, even though I know you guys are enjoying it, even though I'm enjoying it. And man, I am all over the place on on this vlog. And I'm right back down to where I'm where I started. What game am I gonna play? How long has this vlog gone? Oh my god, this vlog's gone on for 40 minutes. Um, I apologize for that. You guys just listened to me rant for 40 minutes. Um, and I still don't know where I am with it. So I guess I just wanted to get that off my chest and tell you where my head is at. Why things have been the way they have, why the struggles I'm currently dealing with, and the computer issues that I'm dealing with, and the last 2 weeks have been just sleepless and stressful, and I guess I just wanted to let you guys know, and bring you in with me, so you guys can understand what it is that this channel's kind of dealing with right now. And I'm not really expecting anything out of this. If you guys want to comment, please do. I mean, feel free. You guys know I love to read your comments. I'm not always able to respond to them quickly, but I will respond to them eventually, even if I'm like away for a while. I will get back to you eventually. I've made that promise. Until I just get so big that I can't answer everybody's comment, I will always try to respond to everybody. And if I can't respond to everybody, do know that I at least read all of them. But I always try to respond to everybody if I can. So yeah, that was all, guys. I wish I had a satisfactory wrap up to this, but I guess I really don't. I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to be able to pull this channel back from the brink of disaster, because that really, when I lost steam, that was a disaster. That was a big disaster. And boy, did it come at a bad time. So bear with me. The next probably few weeks are going to be bumpy. It's going to involve a lot of games that are not my first string of choice. They're more like second and third string of choice. But do look forward to Ark coming up soon. In June 6th, they're going to be giving it to us for free. I intend to grab it on that day, if I remember. If not, Night Scream, please remind me. She's always really good about that. She's a terrific lady, and I really appreciate her. But keep me honest, guys. Help my poor failing memory. You guys know I'm always trying, but this memory of mine's terrible. June 6th, I'm gonna grab the game. Will I start recording that day? Maybe. But I don't think I'll be posting anything that day. If I post anything, it'll probably be like either the next day or the day after or something like that. But I do think I am going to at least start Ark in the future, because that is a kind of a pretty cool game. And hey, if they're going to give it to me for free, gee, twist my arm. Ow, ow, ow. Okay, I'll play. And we'll see where that goes. And in the meantime, I'm going to hope and pray and cross your fingers and keep me in your thoughts and prayers for getting Steam fixed, so that I can get back to Animalica. I really, really want to keep going with Animalica. I'm actually genuinely angry at Steam right now, because they basically wrote me off, and now I can't play Animalica. And I still have a lot of faith in that game. If you guys can, spread the word about that game. I really do think that it's going to be a sleeper hit. It might not a whole lot of people know about it right now, but I have the genuine belief that it's going to blow up, and there's going to be a lot more people paying attention to that game than they are right now. Um, especially once it gets released. I think that game's going to blow up a lot bigger than people originally believed. Um, so anyway, I'm off. I'm off on another tangent again. You can tell I'm tired, and you can tell I'm stressed. So okay, guys, that's going to do it for this particular vlog. And my God, what is this? What are we at? 45 minutes. My God. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, do the liking and the subscribing and the commenting down below. You guys are absolutely fantastic. And I really, truly appreciate every single one of you. You are my Pride members. And so do know that you guys may enjoy watching me, and you're kind of, you're my hardcore fans, but do know how much I really do appreciate you guys, which is the reason why I always try to make my thank yous unique and at least somewhat different, even though after doing it 3,000 times, you eventually, it's hard to come up with original stuff. um, So thank you so much for watching. And as always, everyone, always remember that anyone can be a mouse that roars, but it takes someone special to be a lion that squeaks. So embrace your inner lion and squeak on. And I have a lot more work to do. I still got to find another game that I'm gonna play, on a regular basis. And in about 4 hours, Mama Bear's going to be jumping on here and saying, all right, Lion, let's record Minecraft Skyblock. YouTuber's work is never done.